Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. I am here today to let you know that um, I got an equivalent of a band 9 in IELTS when I took my very first attempt in the PTE Academic Test. And I want to share with you because I did get a lot of questions about my score. So I just want to share with you bits and pieces of yung information na nakuha ko or questions na nakuha ko. So please bear with me and I will be uploading a lot more videos if you do have other questions. So let's start. What is PTE Academic? PTE Academic stands for Pearson's Test of English Academic, no? So it is basically a computer-based English test that gauges and measures the test taker's command of the English language. And it is widely known all over the world. It is accepted by universities, colleges, companies, and it is also used to measure eligibility of people applying for migration to Australia and New Zealand. No, it's very similar to IELTS, TOEFL, and the other English tests available out there. Next, why did I take the PTE Academic? Well, a couple of years ago, my husband and I, together with our families, decided to try to apply for a migration to Australia. And why? Well, because we heard that Australia is one of the best when it comes to living and raising children or living with your family. And the government benefits, healthcare, education there is, superb compared to where we are now, which is the Philippines. So, true enough, last November when we visited there as a family trip, we really did see that Australia is a far better country than ours. Not for anything else, but just because we've been working, my husband and I have been in the corporate world for a very long time, and I know for a fact that we are hard workers. But yeah, the problem is the government. The taxpayers' money isn't going to where it's supposed to go. And in Australia, it's different because your tax works for you and you can literally see it there. So that's why, we are compelled and inspired to try and migrate to another country. And one of the requisites, of course, to apply for a permanent resident or a PR visa in Australia is to pass a language proficiency examination. And if you're applying for that, you have to have at least a band 7 in IELTS or 65 points in PTE Academic. Okay? For me, PTE is very straightforward. What you see is what you get. There is no subjectivity, unlike in IELTS where there is an interview that you need to go through to know if you really can speak in English with another person, and what if, the test giver is in a bad mood. I'm not saying that they are in a bad mood. It's just that I want to eliminate that, subjectivity. So I prefer PTE. The AI actually gauges your ability to use the English language. What was my target score? Honestly, I really did aim for the minimum, which is band 7 in IELTS or 65 points in PTE. I took 2 mock tests, which you can actually purchase from the PTE website. I'll just put it somewhere there, what website that is. And it cost me $59.99 in US dollars and USD, what? And this is what they call the gold test preparation kit. It has 2 mock tests that are scored. So why is this important? I want to know what the test feels like, because if you don't, then you'll be surprised, and most of the time if you're surprised, you're gonna be rendered speechless, and it's gonna, suck. So I really want to make sure that I'm prepared by taking mock tests that PTE actually gives. So yun, that's my goal. 7 for band 7 for IELTS, and 65 points for the PTE. How much is PTE academic? Well, it depends on the forex rate, on the time that you will be purchasing the test. It should cost you around 205 US dollars. At the time of my purchase, that's equivalent to 56 pesos to a dollar, so around 10,500 pesos approximately. So if you are looking into the forex rates daily, and if you see that the peso is greater than the dollar or stronger than the dollar, I would recommend for you to purchase it, because the amount in dollars will not change. It's the exchange rate, forex rate, that would give you an advantage if you would purchase it if the peso is stronger than the dollar. Okay, what else is the question? Let me just check. Did I review? How much? Uh, well, I did. I did review. It's just that it was a self-review. I did not have enough funds to go to a center, a review center, to take, you know, classes. So it's more of a self-review. I spent most of my evenings searching for credible PTE academic reviewers in, guess what? YouTube. Everything can be found online nowadays. So just make do your homework, research, and just make sure that the website that you will be spending most of your time with on is credible, or else you're not gonna make it. I did try to enroll in one of the country's leading review centers for IELTS. This is because they do have the highest rate of passing students, and that is SIVA's Review Center. But I guess with my schedule in the office and at home, I just don't have enough time for that. So I did pay a registration fee, and it's 5,500 for first timers, and that's unlimited review schedule. But I didn't push through with it. I just can't. I don't have time. What else? If you want the techniques for passing the PTE, then let me know in the comments down below, and I will be creating another video to tell you what exactly I did to score the highest in PTE for first timer. Okay, and then what is the equivalent score of PTE academic in IELTS? I guess I'll be posting a screenshot of that. It's available online in the PTE website, but for the purpose of this video, I'll be putting that screenshot maybe sometime now. Yeah. Which is better, PTE or IELTS? Well, that really depends. If you like the traditional way, meaning you want to go to a classroom or whatever, the traditional way would be the IELTS. And basically, IELTS compared to PTE is widely accepted. If you want to migrate to Europe, to the US, to Canada, IELTS is the test that they would be basing things on. But if you're going to, let's say, Australia or New Zealand, PTE Academic would suffice. So, yeah. If you are used to using headphones and computers or laptops, then PTE is okay. Although IELTS right now have computer-based testing, but it's just that IELTS will still ask you to have a face-to-face interview to assess your communication skills. And yeah, what else? IELTS is recognized in most countries, as I said, US, Canada, Europe. PTE is limited as of the moment, but I think Britain is going to consider PTE academic very soon. But for me personally, since I do know which country we want to migrate to, we prefer PTE. What preparations did you do? Well, Filipinos compared to other Asian countries are the best when it comes to diction and pronunciation of the English language, especially from especially the people from Cebu or Visayas, where English is more utilized as compared to Tagalog. So it's already an advantage being a Filipino. Because I guess when the US colonized us, it's easier for us to, adapt, understand, and speak neutral English. So, yeah. Preparations are, in fact, necessary, but you can pass it even if you don't seek professional or formal schooling for the review. And I'm a testament to that. I did not go through a proper review center, or I did not hire a teacher to teach me how to prepare for the exam. Review notes. When you have review notes, you have to keep that in mind. Heart, mind, body, and soul. You have to stick to it, You have to watch, listen, read English TV shows, radio stations, and books. You have to try to talk to people in English. Your children, to your office mates, as much as possible. Try to speak in English just so you get used to it. Also, there's one thing that Filipinos does all the time. It's when we speak in English, sometimes we tend to translate the Tagalog version to English. And sometimes that will, make things worse. Do not translate Tagalog to English. You know why? Because there are certain Filipino words or Tagalog words that does not have an English equivalent, and vice versa. So it's gonna make you stuck. It's gonna make you stuck because you can't find the alternative or the word equivalent to the other language. So don't do that. Just go with it. Go with it. 9th question. What to expect on the exam day? Well, I guess for me the most important thing is you have to understand that there will be distractions. It's a classroom setup. There is a cubicle per test taker, but since you're all lined up in a row around the room and you will be taking the test all at the same time, you can expect that people will be talking loudly and people will be distracting you. So that's, I guess, one of the things that you should be ready about. It happened to me. I was at the portion where the I was at the section that says retail lecture. So there's a speaker I mean, the speaker is discussing about a topic, and I am just listening to the speaker. And I the person behind me, he was talking so loud, and I found myself listening to him rather than listening to the recorder in my computer. And then if I wasn't conscious that I was doing that, I could have missed a very big portion of the test. So, of course, since I was consciously aware that I was doing that, I made sure that instead of just, listening to him, I just listened and concentrated on my exam, because you do tend to compare answers. If you can hear the person right beside you or right behind you, the tendency is for you to check if you did have the same answer or if he was pronouncing the letters and the words properly. So don't do that. Try to concentrate even though there are a lot of noise going on. You are wearing a headset, but again, you can't really control the volume of the voice of the speaker or the person beside you, in front of you, or back of you. Just can't. And also make sure to look into the screen. Look into the screen because you have to understand that the test is time pressured. When I say time pressured, it means that you have to finish activities in a certain number of seconds. Yes, number of seconds. So there's like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So you have to be very aware of that. And what else? You have to have a voice to make sure that you go through this test properly. So if you are experiencing a little hoarseness in your voice, then you have to schedule another test, and you have to make sure that your ears are clean enough for you to really understand what the person in the prompt or in the recording is saying. Filipino time. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It means that you're always late. For this instance, you have to make sure that you're at least an hour or 30 minutes, the latest, before the exam, because you will be undergoing a lot of checking, testing, etc. And you have to be early, or else your $205 will just be down the drain for nothing. They can refuse entry. Refuse you entry if you're late. I would recommend for you to check the location of the test center before going there. Know where the parking is, or I would rather that you have your partner or your family drop you off, because you don't know where the parking is, and if you don't know where the parking is, it's gonna render you late. So you just make sure, You also have to be very good in using the QWERTY keypad of the computer, because again, this is a computer-based testing, and if you're not familiar with the letters and the keypad, then you're gonna take time, and it's gonna affect the test results. Okay. Cell phones, jewelries, even rings are not allowed. Only reading glasses. So if I were you, just don't bring them, or put them in your bag, which there's a locker room in there. I'm gonna put it there, okay? And everyone is there. Don't expect that if you're, say, a manager of a multinational company, that everybody in there would be of the same status as you are, because no. There are old people. There are old people there. There are students there. There are professionals like you. There are housewives. So it's a very diverse population or test takers. So everybody's just aspiring to just be somewhere better. And you just have to respect that. Don't be, nagwa mo dyan? Parang ganon. Don't be like that. And of course, you have to dress appropriately, meaning no shorts, no mini skirts allowed. Wear comfortable pants because it is an air conditioned test center. You don't want to be uncomfortable while doing the exam. As much as possible, wear comfy clothes. Don't wear slippers. You can wear sandals, but slippers are Havaianas like that. Crocs isn't, appropriate. So you have to have closed shoes, or for ladies, sandals. And of course, don't forget to breathe. You have to relax, because if you are nervous and uncomfortable, then it's going to reflect on the way you speak, the way you think. So yeah, that's a bad thing. You paid $205, remember, so you don't have to waste it. Don't waste it. Unless you're rich enough to retake the exam again. How did I get the results? Well, it's clearly stated already in the PTE website that within 5 days, they'd be able to give you results of the examination that you took. In fact, they will also send you an email in your registered or nominated email address, and you will not get any certification or hard copies. You will get a soft copy, but if you do want to send it to institutions or companies or Homeland Security of another country, there is a website for PTE where before any of this will happen, you have to log in, sign up a membership. That's also where you can buy the exam, schedule your exam, etc. So there's a dashboard there where you can view your results, test results, and you can also nominate agencies or institutions where you want to send the results to. So it is not you, but PTE company or management that sends out the results, the official results, to these institutions. This is to avoid faking the certifications, because it happens. So that's it, guys. Those are the 10 top questions that I received when I got my PTE results, and I did get an equivalent of IELTS Band 9 as a first-time test taker of the PTE Academic, because I did get 86 points. So 86 points based on the table that I showed you is equivalent to Band 9 for IELTS. And this is, for me, I personally feel very happy about it, because I did